Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Hello, everyone. I'm coming live early today because Grizzy interviewed Rudy. She has released part 1. It is only 10 minutes long, but I wanted to come live to see if anyone would happen to be in the chat and wanted to talk about it. So, let's see. And it just came out, like she just posted it.
You're right. Even though I'm not going to deny that it gave me a certain amount of pleasure. But that being said, your father and I...
Y'all hear Penelope snore? I'm sorry. Okay, here we go, guys. This is Rudy. Does he look 25, 26? I don't think so, in my opinion. I can't tell. But here we go.
Oh, it's good. Oh, you
When that door's open, that looks
yeah.
good. How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah.
Just a little sick. I think I just kind of got a cold or something. But other than that, I'm good. Happy here.
Well, we probably need you to talk really loud, just because it's phones.
Yeah, I understand. It's just it's a little struggle. My throat's kind of sore.
I understand. Oh, actually, it's not a bad idea. Hold on.
Rudy, how are you 25?
It's like 26. It's my age and dates and times. So sometimes it's a little hard for me to keep track, especially if I don't have phones or anything. It's a little difficult.
You know, if we keep the door a little open, it's helpful with the light. That could work if you want to hold this right there.
All right.
Are you shocked at how much attention this has gotten?
It's a lot of attention. It kind of gets me overwhelmed, But other than that, I just try to stay positive, just try to keep my mentality straight and honest and true and just spread positivity and kindness,
So the world thought you were missing for 8 years. Where were you? Where have you been?
Just at home. Just stuck at home, if somebody would come over, my mom would just tell me, stay in the room, keep the door locked, don't let them in, don't make any sounds, don't do anything,
Tell us about what it was like living there. Were you allowed to leave the room? Was she holding you there against your will?
She never locked me in or, handcuffed me or anything like that. I had free will to leave. It just felt like brainwashing, honestly. It just kept confusing me, just the way, she would manipulate me into saying oh, you're going to get arrested because you have a speeding ticket or something, something minor, something innocent. And then it would just kind of escalate into just people sorry.
You're good.
Okay.
Which is,
Take your time.
yeah, it just escalated from there, from, just wanting to get away from home, just be free, live my own life, arguing all the time. And then we eventually just went into she locked me in there pretty much mentally, just that she was my only parent. She was the only person. So when I lost my brother, I didn't have anybody to have friends or trust in myself or anything, I just depended on my mom all my life.
What had you been doing for those 8 years?
Just trying to study the best I can online, understand how the world works, understand different cultures, different religions, different everything. Because my life, I just believe that we should stop putting labels on everything and just understand the communities and the prosperity and the growth and the positivity, because there's just too much fighting, there's too much anger, there's too much depression and mental health problems in the world. Yeah, we just need to spread more positivity, because all of it, everything around us, it's an algorithm that they control through the social media and through the colors and just everything. If you see something white, like a white wall or a white pillowcase or a white car driving around the place, you'll just understand that you're just trying to have a positive thought, and then you'll look at something white and get sidetracked, and you'll get distracted about stuff and things, and then you'll find stuff like a pink wall or something, or pink whatever, and then just be reminded of somebody trying to help you, prosperity, just somebody loving people. And red, people confuse that for anger or hate, and it's only anger or hate, these type of things, if you look at it that way.
Police said a lot of times that you were 17 when this happened and you were an adult. You spoke a little bit about this, about some of the family trauma you've had growing up. Talk about the fact that although you're an adult, how difficult it was for you to be in this situation and maybe not be able to get out of.
It felt like Stockholm Syndrome, honestly. Just held against my will mentally, not physically, just constantly, she was bombarding me with negative thoughts. And every time I come around her, she just makes me, it's like little triggers just pop up, and it's like if I'm trying to get away from my mom, I'll hear a random noise, and it'll be a little reminder in my head, don't do that, don't say this, or just little things, she's putting ideas or thoughts into my head whenever I'm just trying to just understand the world.
Do you think your mom took advantage of you?
Heavily.
How does that feel? I mean, I can't imagine. You said your mom's really the only person in your family you have. How was that you felt your own mom took advantage?
It's like I lived in prison. It's like I lived in a fucking jail my whole life. I just wanted to be free. I wanted to have my own job. I just wanted to live my life. I just wanted to just love somebody, have somebody else who would actually love me, because I wasn't sure what love was. I struggled understanding my emotions. I don't know when I'm sad and that I'm sending out negative energy. I don't understand when I'm happy and sending out positive energy. The only way I was understanding how to communicate with people was online, and even then, you can't trust everything you see online, because half the time people are just making their own assumptions and spinning what they want, and I can't ever speak my truth because everybody wants to assume things.
Can you go into the brainwashing? What would she say to you? Would she say something would happen if you were to leave her home?
It wasn't that. It's just after I left, I started to understand that all of it's just an algorithm. It's literally all an algorithm. If you look at something black, you understand that they understand. White, it'll confuse you when you're trying to go in a positive direction. Red, it'll remind you of love. If you look at green, it'll remind you of like grounding people that are there for you and stuff,
Did you feel stuck and
like, I want to go get my own money, I want to go work a different job, I want to do this and that, they would always just come right back around to just don't do that, or it's bad, don't do that, like the cops are going to come out, they're going to do this, they're going to arrest you if you're driving a car without a license, or this and that. And it's just like, oh, how do you expect me to get a license to drive a car if I can't even go out? All I do is work 12-hour shifts 7 days a week and I get $60 fucking. Like, I don't understand how that's fucking fair.
Why do you think she wanted to keep you hidden?
I don't know. It all started just because I had a fucking speeding ticket. I went like 70 and 55 trying to go to work. And then it's just like I wasn't able to have a life. I was starting to start.
Everyone has is why your mom would lie and say that you've been missing for 8 years. Did she ever tell you, did you ever ask, Mom, why are we pretending that I'm missing?
That's the thing. When it comes to the real small details like that, I just can't, I don't remember. It's like it just blocks it out. Like she's blocking it out for me or something. It's like I just want to remember the facts. I just want to understand, who I am and what I'm trying to do, and just try to live my life the way I want to, not how she wants me to.
Were you questioning your mom? Like, Mom, why am I doing this?
I would always ask her stuff like, when am I going to get a job? When am I going to have my own car? When am I going to be able to make my own decisions? When am I going to be able to just go out and be free? Like, why can't we just go to the fucking police station? Why can't I just get a lawyer? Why can't I just do that? And she's like, oh, you can't get a lawyer because it's too much money. We can't do that because it's too much money. Everything was always just money, 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 money. It's constantly fucking money.
If you had to guess why she was doing this, was she making money from you being missing, as far as you know?
I don't know. I think somebody at one point mentioned something about an original GoFundMe page. And then my mom wanted to say something about, like, one of my aunts or something was, like, stole all the sodas or some shit. But meanwhile, where's all the money that they raised, Like, and where did that go to helping find me?
Hey, I want to know how you feel about this interview. Do you think he's being truthful? Do you think his story makes any sense? Talk to me, people. I'm waiting for part 2 to come out of the interview, and I had a video that I was gonna play tonight about him. Yeah, hold on. Shoot, it's my TV. My TV was on. I turned it off. Then I went shut the front door, the bedroom door. And when I was coming back, I freaking tripped over my shoe. I'm fine though. I'm fine. Okay, let's see. I have a lot of tabs up here, so let me find it. Oh, I know what it is. Hold on. How are y'all doing today? And I want to talk about Rudy's interview. Please. Let me see. It's in my library. Oops, sorry. Okay, am I clearer now?
Reported missing in 2015 by his mother. Rudy came from a family that had endured a lot of tragedy. Rudy witnessed his brother die in a car accident in 2011. Then, in 2014, Rudy's father took his own life. So when Rudy vanished, it seemed like misfortune had once again struck this family. But on June 29th, 2023, Rudy was found, and he was alive. Then, as investigators dug deeper, it became clear that he was actually never missing. He was at home with his mother the entire time. In fact, he had spoken to police through the years using a fake name. This case has raised so many questions. Why did his mother report him missing? What was he doing during the last 8 years? Why didn't he use his real name? And why has it taken this long for all of this to be revealed? Tonight, we try to answer some of these questions with those connected directly to the case. The private investigator who worked the case, the community activist who helped Rudy when he was found, and a neighbor who knows everyone involved. All this as we go in depth into the mysterious case of Rudy Farias.
I'm Benny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And for those of you who watch the show, you know every single night here, every single night we close the show, we talk about missing children. And we ask for your help. We show those faces. Many of these are teenagers, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. And many of them are missing for different reasons. And some have run away. Some had very terrible situations they're trying to get away from. Some potentially being trafficked. And as we cover these stories, we pray that they are found alive. That's the hope. When a child is out there missing, you want that child found alive. And when they are found alive, it's miraculous on one level. There's sometimes a sense of relief, but then you've got to dig into what has this child been through? Like what was going on during the time that the child was missing and was out there on his or her own. So let's talk about Rudy Farias. He was reported missing and 17 years old. I mean, this was 8 years ago, but if this had happened now, this may very well have been one of.
Now that Vinny said that, it reminds me. Okay, so I want you guys to know, have you seen the screenshots going around of Rudy getting a traffic ticket in 2018, I think it was? Has anyone seen that? I know I saw it in the Facebook group, but I wanted to let y'all know. So Rudy's bio dad had Rudy with Janie. and Janie named him Rudolph Gabriel Farias. 10/1/96. And then his bio dad went in another relationship, had a son, named him Rudolph Gabriel Farias. Birth date 10/1/97. How in the hell did that work out? Him and his half brother have the same birthday, same name, but different years. Hey, Tony, how does that work? Like, really? That's like one in what they said about the DNA for Brian. What they said, what was it? Octillion? No. Gazillion, I say. I don't remember what they said, that word they said. I don't know. If you just coming in, part one of the interviews at the beginning, I was going to play this Vinny episode right here tonight. But since we're waiting for part two of the interview to post, I'm going to go ahead and play this now. If it comes out before this is over, I'm going to end this and play it. No, what she did was she gave them the brother's information. Yeah, she gave them 97 for the brother, which, so he was not 17. I know everyone is saying 17. We just heard in the interview that he was 18. His birthday is 10/1/96. Law enforcement knows by now he was 18 when he went missing, yet they continue to say 17. Hey, Army vet, I'm not in Louisiana though. They knew he was 18. Why do they keep saying 17? He's 18 then, and he's 26. Maybe 20, gonna turn 26 in October, or 27, 26 in October. I hate when my coat gets hot. Hey, my cats. So if you're just coming in again, well, first hit the like button for me. Then rewind to the beginning, and part one of Rudy's interview is at the beginning. I'm waiting for part two. So I wanted to play this video tonight, and I'll just go ahead and play it right now. And hopefully she'll post part two before this is over with. Hey, Lady V, that's why I text you. Hold on a second. I don't know if you're busy or not, but here's the link for anybody that wants it. So here we go. Let's go. So remember, those speeding tickets that you might see screenshot, I think it's speeding. Rudolph Gabriel Farias 10/1/96. That's his brother that got the tickets. I had a gummy this morning. It tastes, it's so good. That was the brother that got the right. That was before he went missing, Sherry. He said when he went back home, his mom kept saying about the speeding ticket. This speeding ticket I'm talking about happened in 2018. According to the documents that they showed, the screenshots that they showed, it is not this Rudy that quote unquote went missing. It's his brother, his half brother. It's crazy how they have the same name, and they were both born on October 1st, a year apart. But Hey,
Hey girl, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just trying to figure out, um, get all the information from Rudy's mouth himself, you know?
Yeah, I haven't got to see any of it. I'm sorry I missed your first part.
Well, you have to rewind it. I want to finish playing this, and hopefully part two will be out by the time this is over. This is a lot of information we know already. However, you know, the middle to end, he has experts, and he also has the neighbors on his panel. So let's go.
One of the missing children, because he's 70, he's a child, that we would have profiled on this show and asked for your help to find him. If you see, put his face out there. If you see Rudy, make the call. Please, let's see if we can get Rudy to a safe place tonight. But unbelievably, in this case, it seems that he was never missing. For 8 years, not missing. What? Well, what happened to this young man? What happened? What was going on for 8 years? And why is it that no one knew that he wasn't missing? I don't understand. This is so confusing, this case. So confusing. And when you talk about what happened to him, I think you get different answers depending upon who you talk to. So tonight we're going to try to get some more information. We've got people connected to this case on this show this hour. But I want to start by playing for you first the police, right? They had a press conference. And one of the issues that came up was whether or not this young man was abused by his own mother, that mother who had reported him missing. And that's because a human rights activist from Houston who had helped this young man when he was found said, yeah, this is what he said to me. So police were questioned about that. Take a listen.
We heard from activist Cornell X, and he made some shocking allegations that he was in the room with a detective, and he heard from Rudy firsthand. He said that there were sexual abuse allegations and that he was drugged by his mother. From what you just said today, are you saying that the activist was lying?
Basically, what we're saying is our investigation is our investigation, and we treat it the same. We're going to, our investigators were in the room, and basically, you know, what they heard and what they interviewed, that's what we attest to in our offense reports and our investigations. And I'm not here, neither are they here to question anybody's integrity, but our integrity with the Houston Police Department stands, and we're going to report and put in offense reports what a victim or potential victim tells us. Okay.
But just to be clear, in that room, the detective did not hear anything about sexual abuse allegations. Can you just clear that up?
Yeah, Sergeant Stephan Menez. Yes, I interviewed him, and no, there was no. You know, I'm trained to listen for probable cause. I'm trained to listen for statements that.
See, in my opinion, they are totally embarrassed that this happened and that they've encountered him during these 8 years with a different name. And so this guy right here is going to act cocky because he knows how to tell when someone's not telling the truth. Yeah, so if you're just coming in, rewind to the beginning is part one of Rudy's interview. I'm just playing Vinny's show from, I think, yesterday or today, until part two comes out.
That can help me get charges or move forward with the case. And no, there was no statements made during this investigation so far. No.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's what police are saying. And they're pretty clear about this, that they haven't heard that yet, that he hasn't told them. Well, now I want you to hear from the human rights activist, community activist. Cornell X is his name. He's been on the show before. A lot of people know him very well. Here he is responding to all of that.
I have come here today to speak up on behalf of Rudy Farias. I have come here today to speak that which that young man spoke to me. I have come here today to clear up one thing in particular, the lie that HPD told. HPD said that no sexual abuse was reported. That detective is an absolute liar. He sat there with me for an hour and 15 minutes and listened to every word Rudy said to me. In fact, he told the detective, I want Quanell to stay.
Okay, so we're getting different stories here. So let's bring in our special guest joining us tonight from Houston, Texas, civil rights activist Quanell X, who's really devoted his life to peace, well-being of the community. We've had you on the show before. Quanell, great to see you tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's just back up a little bit. So how did you first get involved with this case, with this story?
Rudy's mother was looking for me, and she was able to reach a young woman named Grizzy. And Grizzy gave her my number and put her in contact with me, so she called me. When she called me, she said that she was concerned about investigators intimidating and threatening her, and she felt that they...
Hey, part 2 is out. Do you want me to wait till this man finishes speaking, or do you want me to end it right now? I just have to pull it up on Facebook real quick because I found it on my phone, so I need to pull it up on Facebook, but it'll just take a minute.
Do whatever you want to as far as
I'll go ahead and end it now since we've already heard from this man. I don't know how long it is, but we'll come back to that after. Sound good?
Sounds good.
This one is 10 minutes also, so hold on one second.
Thank you, hon.
4. Okay. Now we gotta mute ourselves again. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Here we go. Mute yourself, Lady B, if you're not muted.
So we have video. We actually, Fox 26, we interviewed your mother while you were in the hospital 10 years ago in 2012. What happened? Why were you in the hospital? And I guess it was mentioned to our reporter at the time that you had cancer.
I had a tumor on my heel at one point, but that was irrelevant. Originally, I think all that had started because she wanted me to fake taking a bottle of Tylenol or Aleve PM or something, sleeping pills. And then she wanted to fake me going to the hospital, and she pretty much just forced me to go into the ER and be like, hey, act like you're sick and you're overdosing and shit. And
this was before you were missing?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why was this happening?
I don't even remember. I think it was something to do with school. I was depressed and I was cutting my wrists when I was, getting sad. I didn't have an idea how to, understand my emotions. It was after my brother passed away. I didn't know how to deal with pain and depression. So I would just literally just rip a fucking Coke can open and just run it on my wrist like a fucking cheese grater just to feel something.
Your brother was a big part of your life, the one who passed away. Talk to us about that. And was that a major part in this, how you were feeling with depending on your mom?
Yes, ma'am. He would take care of me. He would take me to and from school. He would pick me up. He would get me McDonald's. Just little jokes and stuff. And after he had passed away, I just wasn't able to, love myself or anything anymore. I wasn't able to have somebody like a father figure. He was my brother, but I never had a dad. I only had stepdads. I didn't know how to grow up. I didn't know what I was doing as I was growing up. I didn't understand how to take care of myself, how to wash myself, how to make doctor's appointments, how to do anything, because I never had a chance.
What would you have to say to police that say, well, he was an adult?
What do you mean?
it seems like in this case, you didn't have the support there that you needed. And police seem so focused on your age that you were 17, which is an adult in Texas. But can you talk about the fact that, yes, you were an adult, but the mindset that you've been in?
Yeah, it was just like a constant brainwashing, like a Stockholm type of syndrome where it's just, you just fall in love with your captive and just want to take care of them, do this and that, like it would just constantly just be me trying to help and just take care of my mom, do whatever she needs because I cared about her and she's the only person I had.
Did your mom, over this last 8 years, did she say anything or like, is there anything that sticks out in your mind that bothers you or that you remember conversations with her that
just, I don't know, I used to have to sleep in her bed sometimes. I don't remember why, just like next to her. It wouldn't be anything sexual or anything like that. I wouldn't lie about that because there's plenty of people that need honest truths when it comes to those things. That just muddies the water to lie about those type of things. That's where I said the media, they like to twist my words and confuse things. I never said anything bad about her in that regard, but just boundaries she would push or make me uncomfortable and I would say stop and she'd like, well, why what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong, and then I would just be like, okay, you didn't do anything wrong and just leave it at that, just push my boundaries if you want, do whatever you had to do. And I would just be like a people pleaser, but I didn't have people to please, just my mom. I didn't have anybody to take care of or, help understand me. It was just her all the time, my mom.
How hard has it been right now? I know that this is the only person you feel like you have had, and now that you're separated, how hard is it to make that distinction right now? Do you want to talk to her?
No, not really. I don't want any contact with her at all. I just want to live my life away from her. She can do whatever she wants. I don't care. I just want to live my life. I want to have a family, a job, a car, just a house. I just want to live my life. I just want to be happy. I don't want to keep going back to those negative thoughts she always has on me. I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of those thoughts. Just constant negativity around that house, and I hate it. Seems like every time she comes around me, it just fuels negativity into me. Like she's just downloading it into my brain over and over, and I don't like it.
Did she make you, were there ever times where police would come to your house to check on you that you recall?
I think at one point.
Did you have interaction with the police, or did your mom make you hide? Like, how were you able to get away? I know police mentioned some fake names. Did you actually speak to the police ever?
Like once or twice. Maybe once when I was driving my mom's car, they pulled us over because, she wasn't feeling good. She had took some pain medicine after a surgery and, she was struggling to drive. So like, just get in the passenger seat. I'll take you home. It's not too far, And, yeah, they pulled me over for something like that, but I don't remember what name I gave them. She told me, just say something else, say a different name because they don't, they're going to arrest you. I'm just like, why can't I just tell them my name,
What was it like? 8 years without seeing some of your closest family members. And every time they'd come over, what would you have to do?
Hide. If my uncles or my aunts came to visit my mom or my family would come to visit my grandma, that's the main reason they would go over there to see my grandma. And I would just have to listen to my family be happy and cheerful on the other side of a fucking door. And I'm just like, I want my families, I just want people. I just want communication. I just want people to understand that we need to start talking more and just stop, like.
Did you want to just end it right there and go out and tell them that you're here and you're okay?
I just want them to know that I wanted to scream for them, but at the same time, I just couldn't because the only person I was able to trust was my mom. She told me so many things about my other family that I didn't know. I wasn't able to verify.
Was your grandma living with you at one point?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had and she tried to tell people that you were there?
Yes, ma'am.
She had Alzheimer's. Was she sick?
She had Alzheimer's, dementia, Down syndrome. She had a bunch of medical issues, and that's why I took care of her the best I could.
And did she ever say to you anything about Rudy, go out, tell police, like, did she ever say anything to you? Because it seems like she tried to tell family members that you were there.
Yeah, I think she tried telling people, but it's just my mom, I don't know. I'm honestly not sure about that one.
Do you feel like your mom held you captive? Is that how you would?
Pretty much. I mean, in a sense, just not in a physical, restraints or anything, but mentally she held me against my will. It's just, I wanted to just come out and say stuff and be honest, and every time I would try to, she would just either be, no, don't do it, or, all right, go do it.
Why do you think she did that?
I don't know. It's because maybe a lot of both of our problems stem from my brother passing away. My brother passed away, and ever since then, he was like our glue. He was like the father figure. He's a provider. He took care of the family. Me and my mom. And then when I couldn't take care of my mom anymore, I had to take care of my grandma, and it was difficult. It was especially at the end.
Do you see your mom change her personality over the years?
She's always kind of had that mentality, try to talk to her about something positive, and then, or address her issues, and then my mom would just deviate, sidetrack, or completely ignore it, especially stuff like mental health.
This is your chance, finally. We've heard from family members. We've heard from police. It's finally your chance to tell your story. Is there anything that you want people to know about what happened to you?
Just, I wanted to live my life, and just something inside of my brain kept going back to her. She was my life support in a sense. I needed her, or at least she made me feel that way. She never gave me the confidence or the guidance or the teaching that I needed. She never gave me anything other than just the bare necessities and a job worth slaving over to help her pay bills and debts or whatever, or tickets and stuff.
Without getting into specifics, I'm sure you've heard or seen what Quanell told the media last week
About what in particular?
About things that he says that you told him in that hotel room last week.
Hello everybody. Christy will be back shortly. I can't read any of your chat, but I'll try to occupy your time. Let's see. So I can't read your chat. What do you guys think about this situation? I mean, I can't imagine. Hold on. Oh, wait, I can read your comments. Oh, okay. He was going with his mom working. Oh, yeah, okay, I can. Okay, I'm staying up here, Christy. I'm good. Okay, he said he works 7 days.
I'm here. StreamYard is freaking out.
Yay.
So, Lady B, who do you believe?
I believe him.
Can y'all hear
But
me?
who do you?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Lady B, where are you? Okay, who do y'all believe in the chat? So everybody said Rudy, I'm pretty sure. I don't hear
Can you hear
her.
me?
Now it's like a little talk again.
Hello? Hello? Let me turn it up. Is that better?
I don't hear her, guys.
I'll jump down.
What the heck? Oh, there she goes. She'll probably come back. Let me put this for her. Y'all can hear her? Let me pull up the other one again. Hey, Mama Shellbell. There she is. Man, I'm telling you, StreamYard is acting a fool.
Hello. Can you hear me all right now?
Oh, I hear you. Woo woo.
Hey.
I'm
No, I
good,
believe
Mama.
Rudy.
Huh?
I believe him. I don't see any reason why he should lie about it.
I know. It's just so confusing. Like this man right here. Like a lot of us really believe this man right here. Why would he freaking lie?
I mean, there's no sense in him lying.
But did you guys see part 2 ended with the guy asking him about Mr. X? Did y'all hear that?
I did.
Exactly, Sherry. So I'm like, now Mr. X and Rudy have two different stories because Rudy just said that he had to lay in the bed next to his mom, but it was nothing sexual. And
Yeah, I'm
said,
sorry.
I mean, did I hear that right, y'all?
He did. I'm just not so sure. I didn't believe it in the beginning, to be honest with you, until I hear, from the person himself. So many people are out to get notoriety and all of that business, using somebody else's trauma and stuff to build a reputation with. I'm not saying I'm not griping at the man. I'm just saying, it's easy to do. You get carried away sometimes.
I wonder how many parts there are. And they're in 10-minute episodes or whatever you want to call it.
Really?
Videos. I don't see why this man would have anything to gain by lying. Me either. So why would Mr. X lie? Why would Mr. X lie knowing he's saying he has it on video and Grizzy videoed it? And then we have Grizzy recording Rudy's interview. And why would he lie? It's his life. Oh, shit. What if he really just doesn't want his mom to go to prison still? I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't see why they would both lie and they have. The only thing I think is different is about the sexual abuse, though. I think everything else that he said was kind of right.
Yeah, I think so too.
So let's go. I think Cass, who said Rudy could be too embarrassed to say. That's what I'm thinking about.
That's true.
That's what I'm just thinking about. If it's that or okay, October 50, be careful. Um,
So that could be.
you read Tony's comment?
No. Hold on.
QX can be lying to find a reason to show that Ellie failed Rudy. QX is a thug and should mind his own business.
Okay, Tony.
I guess Tony done spoke.
I kind of agree with him. I just didn't want to say it like that.
I think that's what Laura was saying too. But there was still a part of me that wanted to believe him. I don't know. I just couldn't see him lying with video evidence, saying publicly he has video evidence. So let's hear now what he has to say because this is new information.
Yeah, just because he says it doesn't mean he actually has it, though.
Yeah, but if it was recorded, Grizzy did it and Grizzy should have it, unless, of course, it mysteriously goes away. You know, things mysteriously go missing over there in
Yeah, it
Houston.
happens.
Why he owes them money, like he stole it from them, or
Oh, I've heard a lot about that. Allegedly, he would give loans and he would be like, if you don't pay me back one time, then you have defaulted and it's mine. And then you couldn't get a hold of him and people would default and it would be his. I mean, that's allegedly. That's just what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
okay, let's so Army Vet. The story is this guy went missing 8 years ago. He was found beat up next to a church at a church door. Turns out he was never missing at all. His mother reported him missing and he was never missing. But his mother made him hide and stuff like that. So it's weird. And now that's what they're talking about. They're talking about what happened to him in these 8 years and stuff like that.
You know, I just can't imagine that his mom had, I mean, you know, when kids turn like 18, 19, 20 years.
Hello? I can't. Oh, wait. So, hello?
I'm here.
Oh, I didn't hear nothing. I thought you dropped. All right. Let me start playing this real quick.
They were attempting to blame her for something. I said, well, do you believe you're a suspect? She says, I'm not sure. She says, well, I have to meet with them. Would you meet with me with them? I said, sure, no problem. I'll meet with you and them. And so the next morning, I got a call at the very last minute because of some rescheduling with Rudy being picked up from the hospital and meeting with investigators. So we moved forward and we did meet with investigators. And I was there in the room when investigators interviewed the mother. I was also there in the room when investigators and myself interviewed Rudy for an hour and 15 minutes. Everything I came before the public and said Rudy Farias told me was the exact 100% truth. That's exactly what he said to me and to the investigator who was sitting right next to me the entire time. And I thank Rudy's aunts, his aunts, who finally got a chance to visit with him. And when they visited with him, they asked him about.
While this is playing, I'm going to find where he says there was nothing sexual. I'm going to find it while this plays. And then we're going to hear Rudy. And then we're going to hear Mr. X. And we'll see how different they are.
About the things that I said. And Rudy told them himself that, yes, what Mr. X is saying is true.
So initially you're called by mom, right? Rudy's mom. But then, like we're
Yes.
seeing this video here where it seems you clearly, at this point, are doing what you can to kind of help this young man through what is happening here. So
what happened when the mother came, when the mother got to the hotel, she was attempting to keep Rudy from investigating. She told me and investigators, Rudy is nonverbal, he can't talk. And when I went in, talk. So I took a seat right next to Rudy. And I said, young man, how are you doing? Are you okay? And he looked up at me and he shook his head, yes. I said, can you sit up, little brother? He said, yes. And he said, I know you. He said, you're Quanell X. I said, okay, young. So we knew at that point he was not nonverbal. That's what she was saying to us. And when we were able to convince her to exit the room, I was going to exit also while he spoke with investigators, or they attempted to speak with him. Rudy grabbed my hand and said, no, I want him to stay. I sat down right next to Rudy. The investigator was sitting right next to me, and we both began to question Rudy and speak to Rudy. And he began to open up, and at points, different points of the discussion, he was very articulate and very clear about what he had experienced and what he had went through in the home. It was shocking for me to hear that young man say that his mother convinced him that he had warrants out for his arrest and that he had to hide and had to make up an assumed name. And that if he told law enforcement who he really was, he would go to jail, and that he was in trouble for initially running away from home the initial time he was called in as a runaway. Also, she convinced him that once he was found, he was going to be put in jail or prison, wearing the assumed name that she gave him. He also said to explain to while he was in the shower, and she would take off all of her clothing and get naked. And that's as far as I want to go about that. Out of respect to what this young man has suffered, he also said to us that he didn't like her when she would kiss him in the mouth, when she would make him lay in her bed, that he made it crystal clear to her he did not like laying in her bed with her. But she said to him that, and that he was forced to lay in that bed, but he never wanted to.
So at the moment you're hearing all this,
Okay, listen very, very carefully.
Say anything, or like, is there anything that sticks out in your mind that bothers you, or that you remember conversations with her that just?
I don't know. I used to have to sleep in her bed sometimes. I don't remember why, just like next to her. It wouldn't be anything sexual or anything like that. I wouldn't lie about that, because there's plenty of people that need honest truths when it comes to those things. And that just muddies the water to lie about those type of things. That's where I said the media, they like to twist my words and confuse things. I never said anything bad about her in that regard, but just boundaries she would push or make me uncomfortable, and I would say stop, and she'd be like, well, why, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong, and then I would just be like, oh, no.
Well, that's kind of contradictory right there.
Okay, we heard that, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like nothing happened, but yet, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. He's saying nothing happened sexually, but then he's saying that she crossed boundaries and made him uncomfortable. And right there, he's got his hands up because he's like, no, don't touch me or whatever. I wonder what that was about. That was like her trying to.
Yeah, that's a defensive posture that she has right there.
I don't know, but you heard it right there, guys.
I'm, maybe he is embarrassed to, or maybe he doesn't want her to go to jail.
I find it odd that when he said nothing sexual, and the next thing out of his mouth was, I wouldn't lie. And then he
Right.
kept reiterating the fact that he wouldn't lie.
Because a lot of people, when they do that, that's exactly what they're doing. Not
Yes.
everybody, but I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So, yes, Sherry, I think he's embarrassed and he doesn't want to get, well, I don't know if he wants to get his mom in trouble now that he don't want to have nothing to do with her. But yeah, I think he's embarrassed too. I don't know. Let's play this. I'm going to keep checking Facebook.
In divulging all of this?
He was crying. At some points, he wasn't crying. He was just soft spoken, and he was talking. Then he said this to us. He said, I don't want my mom to go to prison. I don't want my mom to go to jail. And I said, Rudy, it's going to be okay. He said, I was tired of feeling like a slave, and I just wanted to be free. That's what he said. I said, well, you're free now, young man, and you shall remain free. And he began to say to us that she would lock him in the room. She would lock him in his room, that she would give him drugs, mushrooms in particular. That he was talking about was mushrooms that caused him.
I have not heard so far in both parts of those that about drugs. You? I haven't heard about that yet, so we'll see.
Oh, well, he did say that he gave him a lot of Tylenol and stuff before before he went so-called missing. He to act like he was having an overdose and took him to the hospital. He did say that.
I think this is while he was missing.
I thought they said it was right before, but or he said it was right before, but I can't.
No, the tunnel or whatever you said, I don't know. But supposedly during the 8 years, she gave him shrooms and marijuana or whatever. That's why I want to hear it out of his mouth. Police said no allegations of abuse had been reported by Farias. They said prosecutors did not file any charges. Right. That's correct, Army vet. Right, Mama Michelle Bell. So I'm waiting to see if he talks about that in his interview because that is a very important part of what's going on here. All right, I can't wait for this man to stop talking.
Him to hallucinate. She would take him to work and make him do all of the work that she was supposed to do, that he was required to do when he would go to work with her. And that he was forced to lie about who he is and who he was. And that she was extremely controlling over him, that he had no freedom. And he just wanted.
His job was his mother's job. He worked 12 hours a day doing her work, which I believe is security. Okay, Sherry.
Didn't have any problem getting a job then.
The mom left and just came back. But what was so funny is when they did this press conference thing the other day with Mr. X when it was raining.
Yeah.
They were right in front of her house and she was in her house while it was going on.
I know. Right? So why aren't people more upset with her? And why did he not know how to dress himself and take care of himself and wash himself and at 17 years
Included
old?
buried. Mm-hmm. Yep, That's right.
I mean, I've assumed that maybe he's had some mental difficulties or something, but he sounds extremely intelligent to me. Can you hear me?
People on the spectrum, they are very intelligent.
So you're thinking he has Asperger's or autism?
I'm not sure because I'm not really familiar with the autism spectrum. All I really know is I've
I'm
heard.
very familiar with Asperger's. My heart daughter and her son have, and they are extremely intelligent, and you really wouldn't know outside of a few things, but I don't know how bad that gets, though. I mean, I know how they are, but that's all I know. I don't know a lot about autism to be able to speak about it, but
Tony, do you think it's Asperger's? Sorry, I have a cinnamon disc in my mouth.
I'm honestly thinking that might be it. I mean, because he's not like not wanting to be touched by anybody, or he's not having really any problems communicating with people. So I kind of lean toward Asperger's if he has anything at all.
Man, I hope whatever Army vet says police cover up.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And you know what gets me too? Okay, this aunt of his, if her mom was dirty and all of that, why did she not take her out of there? I would have
Thank
had my
you.
mom out of there. She had custody of her mom. I would have had her out of my sister's house so fast it wasn't even funny. I
And
wouldn't have been writing it down 8 times.
the agency that put her there with Janie, that woman works for.
I know.
Placed her in there knowing she was being treated badly with that agency, but she did her paperwork, she says, and she
Yeah,
did her job.
she's covered. No, in my opinion, she's not covered because she should have gotten her ass out of there.
Because now she probably gonna lose her job if she still works there.
If that's how she treats all her other patients, I would agree with that, or clients or whatever. That's the whole point. I mean, if they have someplace else to go after a certain time, you take them out. You don't just leave them in that situation, especially your mom, and if you have custody. That made me mad.
Let's finish listening to this man's lie.
Wanted to be free.
So as he's saying all this, you're saying the detective from Houston PD is in there as well?
Sitting right next to me. Sitting right next to me.
Is he whispering it to you, or is he?
I've always had a controversial relationship with HPD, fighting anyone, but I'm speaking the raw and adulterated truth. That cop sitting right there next to me and heard everything Rudy said, every single word.
So let me ask you 2 questions following up to that. Why do you think, from your perspective, because as we heard, Houston PD said this never happened. Why do you think they're saying this never happened? What would, and I'm trying to put it together. I'm not in Houston. I don't know the dynamics.
One, they waited 8 days to ever speak to Rudy. After Rudy was discovered and found unconscious in front of the church, and they learned who Rudy was, the missing kid, Rudy Farias, they waited 8 days to interview him. And I was upset about that. And I kept asking them, why did they wait so long? I even asked them, why have you not executed a search warrant on the mother's home? for there's reason based on what the neighbors are saying that you should do so. But I also later learned that Rudy Farias Sr., Rudy's father, was a Houston police officer who committed suicide at the police department in the police garage because he was under investigation for criminal activity. Also, they were upset because they did not want to bring embarrassment to a fallen officer's family. And I think that played a role in why they took the public position about Rudy's allegations that they did. They did.
See, that right there is what made me believe him. But apparently I was wrong again.
Did not want to bring public embarrassment and shame to the widow of a fallen HPD officer.
Let me ask you this, Quanell. So the initial contact, as you told us, was from Rudy's mother, is the one who contacted you first because she felt like she might be a suspect or something. After you hear this from Rudy, do you have any conversations with his mother?
I was in the initial meeting with investigators with the mother. And the night before, she told me, when I asked about what the neighbors were saying about they saw Rudy, she said that was not Rudy, that was my ex-boyfriend. They got it confused. But in the meeting with investigators, the mother told investigators in my presence, sitting right next to the mother, she says, oh no, that wasn't Rudy, that was my nephew. And in my mind, I'm saying, well, you just told me it was your ex-boyfriend. Then she went on to say this. When they asked about her car being stolen, because we later learned that it was Rudy who took the car when he chose to run away and get his freedom from his mom. She said that she came home from work, told me the night before somebody stole her car, and she didn't know who stole it, that they had broken into the car. Well, when we spoke to investigators, and they said to her, well, how did they get into your car? Did they crack the column? She says, no, I don't know. They just took it.
Yeah, a lot of this is just not making sense. We lost connection with Quanell for just a moment. So let's do this, folks.
Yay, maybe he won't come back. Right? They weren't married. I don't think she will, Tony, because I think it's real. And it is as deep as everyone thinks it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, very well could be. I mean, why did her husband do that? I know. I
We're
think
going to
there's a whole lot
reconnect
going
with
on.
Quanell X. We're going to bring in our other guests. Wow, what a story! Like this, it didn't make sense. It's bizarre. I don't think we've ever covered anything quite like this. So we're going to dig into this some more. Plus, coming up next hour.
In Artesia, New Mexico, 19-year-old Alexi Treviso accused of murdering her newborn in a hospital bathroom. Did she know she was 9 months pregnant? Tonight, we take a look at the evidence, including some revealing video from a cheerleading event.
All I can say is,
Could go to jail.
right now she's being detained, so she's not going to leave from here at all. Period. Okay, so one of us will
Is
be
it in your custody?
Yeah, she'll be paid.
These neighbors are shocked after seeing reports that missing 25-year-old Rudy Farias was found after missing for 8 long years. Court records reveal his mother lives a few houses down from them, and they tell us her son lives there and they hang out with him often.
He used to come in my garage and chill my cousin, my son, my daughter. She's at work right now, but yeah, boy, ain't been missing since he was no.
Both say they've spoken to him in the last 5 months and even text. Other neighbors say they've seen him living there for years.
We were chilling, laughing, good time. Some days he go to the park and sit in the park around the corner myself.
Houston police say they got a call on Thursday about a man sleeping outside a church in Magnolia Park. He had something on him with a family member's identification, police say, and that's how they were able to contact his mom. Then Texas for the Missing tweeted out over the weekend that man was Rudy Farias, who had been missing since 2015 when he didn't return back from a walk with his dogs. His mother shared pictures with ABC 13.
Dang, it took me so long to unmute myself. I forgot what she was talking about. Just remember hospital pictures that they're showing is from 2012, not 2023.
Right.
2011, something these neighbors say he spoke about.
He said he had lost a brother in a motorcycle accident. I know when you're thinking about his brother, he really wouldn't come hang out. He'd go sit back there in the woods by himself.
And now they're trying to wrap their heads around why he or his mom would ever say he's been missing for the past 8 years.
Yeah, a lot of questions. We're trying to get some answers tonight on this case. Still with us in Houston, Texas, Quinnell X is with us. Also joining us from Houston, Rudy's neighbor, Keisha Ross. And in Palmer, Alaska, private detective who worked on the Farias case, Brenda Paradise, is with us. And in Los Angeles, California, senior reporter for DailyMail.com, host of the Daily Mail Crime on TikTok, and victim advocate for Project Cold Case, Caitlin Becker. All right, thank you, everyone. Keisha, let me start with you. Were you shocked when the whole world started talking about this and it was a missing persons? Did you know that he was missing? Did people in the neighborhood think he was missing?
I didn't know he was missing. I really don't talk to a lot of people around here. Just talk to a few neighbors. But I didn't know he was missing because I had just moved back in 2021 when I learned of him.
But you would see him and everything seemed pretty normal. Did he look like he was being held captive? Did he say who he was?
Yes, he told me his name was Rudolph, but call him Dolph for short. And but every day that I saw him, he was never like in a sober mind. It was always under the influence of something.
There you go, Quinnell. Exactly what Quinnell was telling us. Brenda Paradise, private investigator, you worked this case. First of all, your reaction when you found out that seemingly this missing child you've been looking for was never missing?
There was a little bit of shock and awe, but definitely not surprised. There were stories over the years that we had told law enforcement and urged the family to tell law enforcement that, hey, he's hiding right there with mom. There was even a news release several years back where HPD posted that there was allegations that he was staying at home with mom. They went and checked it out, and it was a false report. He was there, and I think that's when the family seemed to lose hope that law enforcement wasn't going. Was I'm not buying it because the mother has still told stories the whole time, and there's been red flags the whole time. And before I ever would agree to do an interview, I wanted law enforcement to confirm that this really was him.
Caitlin Becker, DailyMail.com. What have you learned? What are you hearing? What do we know about this mother?
We know a lot and a little about Janie Santana, Vinny. Her history is checkered at best. She has multiple online Facebook and TikTok profiles. She appears to kind of be a catfish. None of her photos seem to be real. The ones that are somewhat real seem to be filtered to high heaven. She comments on her own posts. So that's kind of bizarre. She has a long history with different marriages. We found paperwork from one man who was trying to divorce her under the guise that their marriage wasn't legitimate because she was already married to one, possibly two, possibly three, possibly four other men. And on top of all of that, we also
How is she married to all them guys at one time?
One is enough for me. I'm just saying.
Huh?
I love my husband very much, but one man is enough.
I know, right? But you can't get married to 4 men. That's not possible. I know when I went to get my marriage license, they made sure that we were not married in in another marriage.
Yeah, it's illegal.
That's crazy. Okay, maybe she'll explain it. Army vet's coming up.
also know that Janie Santana took home a little over $2,000 from a GoFundMe that had been earmarked to help find Rudy. And this was set up, I think, March 22nd, and he had gone missing in early March. So it had been set up.
Hey, friend, how are you?
Hey, little girl, I'm getting into the story. Go ahead and push the button. I'm the virgin to this. I'm new.
What'd you think about it?
I'm learning. Hey, lady. Hey, lady B. Just. I'm getting it a little bit. I'm getting a little bit. I
Crazy,
just want to,
ain't it?
a little bit. I kind of get it, but I don't get it. We all know that couple where that woman or that kid that's always drugged out around the corner.
Yeah.
Abuse always happen in poverty. So I'm thinking the police has like they knew, they turned their back to it. I think that's what happened.
I think so too. And like I said, 8 years is a long time. They might have had flyers and, searches and all this and that, but people tend to forget after a while. And
Okay, but tell me this. If those people talked to him, if all those neighbors talked to him and knew who he was, why didn't they turn him in?
Because they didn't know.
they didn't know. They lied to him. They knew him as Dolph, and they moved like the lady right there with the black shirt and the earbuds in. She moved there in 2021, so she wasn't there when he went missing.
I thought she said she learned about him.
Yeah, she just recently did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting too.
Okay, mute yourself. I'm gonna play.
Up after he had home, according to police, and the amount from that GoFundMe was set for $75,000. Ultimately, she only walked away with a little over $2,000, and GoFundMe did confirm that that money did go to Janie Santana, and she has since been banned from the platform.
All right, Cornell X, as you told us, the observations we heard from Keisha, the neighbor, he never seemed sober. I'm trying to, again, understand why. Is it possible, Cornell, that police don't want to say anything because he's an alleged victim of sex abuse and they just don't want to come out and ID him that way, but they would still have to do the search warrant, right, to get the evidence?
Do y'all think that he was sexually abused?
Probably so.
I'm thinking at this point, yeah, I'm thinking he probably was.
But see, to me, the most important thing that I know should have happened that didn't is, say you was a mother and you went to the police and said your child was missing.
Is that only me?
What are you talking about?
Because all of a sudden you stopped talking.
Oh.
Like I didn't hear you anymore. Did you hear him, Lady V?
Okay, I've got to drop. I have a customer.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Oh, you hear me now?
She's probably at work.
You hear me now, girl?
Like it keeps buffering my screen that I'm sharing, but it's not buffering for you guys. So I don't know what's going on, but go ahead and say what you were saying. I didn't hear you all the way.
Is my mic straight now? I went to a different mic.
Yeah, you're good.
The fact that she's a mother that had a missing child, and then they seen her with a child and never asked, was that your child, is shocking.
But she had she gave him a different identity. She had, I think his name was like, I don't want to say Jose because it's so common, but it starts with a J and it's something like that. That's what he was told to use, the name. And I believe that she kept saying he was nonverbal so that he never talked and maybe accidentally slipped up in front of someone and said something. You know what I mean? So she told everybody that he was nonverbal, where actually we can obviously see he is verbal.
How many children did she have? Because to me, that's the key.
2. I think 2. One son was killed in a motorcycle accident, and he left, and Rudy was his beneficiary for his insurance policy.
So they knew.
And
they had to know that was her real son. They had to know.
What's crazier, Army Vet, is that he has a half brother born with his exact same name, Rudolph Gabriel Farias. Birth date for both of them is 10/1. This Rudy was born in 96. His brother was born in 97. How that works? How does that ever work?
That mama pulled that one. That mama said,
It's two different mamas. It's two different mamas.
Oh, gee.
This Rudy was born first, and then the dad had a baby with another woman, and that's what they named him, the same name, and he was born on the same day, but a year apart. That's like insane, crazy. No wonder why this story is insane. That's how it started. Insane.
Yeah, when people love numbers.
And when she reported him missing, she gave his brother's birthday. She gave 10/1/97. That's why everybody's saying he was 17 when he went missing. His birth date is 10/1/96. And in the interview that we just played, he said that he was 18 and he was born in 96. So I don't know.
It's
but
just so weird. None of this makes sense.
The sad part, I know you didn't start from the beginning of this story, but the sad part is every day it gets weirder and weirder. Every day something else comes up.
Yeah, this is weird. I'm like reading it now and doing the investigation. This is weird. This is weird.
I'm still waiting for part 3, guys. Hopefully that's going to be the last part, and maybe it's more than 10 minutes, and maybe it's uploading or something slow. So I'm going to keep playing this one. Hopefully part 3 will come out. Okay, I'm going to continue playing.
I can appreciate their sensitivity in this case, and I can appreciate them if they're doing an adequate and thorough job. What I cannot appreciate is deviating from the actual facts of what was said in that meeting. When you go back to their press conference, the detective says, well, no sexual abuse was reported. The same reporter asked the detective, right next question, well, was there a sexual relationship between the mother and the son? They wouldn't answer the question if there was a sexual relationship between the mother and the son. They chose not to answer it. They said, we treat all victims with privacy, etc. But yet, you won't admit that there was an incestuous relationship between the mother and her son, but yet there's no sexual abuse. In my opinion, based on what I heard, was absolutely sexual abuse.
Keisha, you're in the neighborhood. Do you know the mom at all?
No, I don't know the mom. I've only met the mom like when she would call the phone or whatever and pass through to go to work. And that was it. Or she was calling Rudy about where her car was, but no, I didn't know her like that.
And what are folks saying in the neighborhood? I'm sure everyone's chatting about this a little bit. What are they saying? What did they know? What did they suspect? I mean, we profile missing children, on this program and other programs, and for the child to not be missing, this is bizarre.
It's a lot of people that's speaking about that. Some.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm good. I was just saying this is weird. This is weird.
Oh, who said, can I say something, please? Was that Mr. I thought that was you, Army. That I'm sorry.
Go stop smoking.
Some of them say they know he was missing, but they choose not to identify themselves. Some say that that's her nephew. But her nephew, I met them, so they said that wasn't them, and that was it.
Go ahead, Cordell. You had some info for us there.
Also, right after Rudy was found and the neighbors began to speak about Rudy never being missing, there was a call, 911 call placed that there was a break-in at the home. The mother had left the home with Rudy and was living in a hotel, was staying in a hotel because of all of the media publicity. Well, we later learned that the mother was offering money to certain neighbors in the neighborhood to break into the house and to retrieve certain items. So that 911 call about the burglary was something that the mother herself set in motion. And those individuals came to the press conference on Sunday and spoke about the conversations on the phone she had with them and how much she offered them to break into the home.
Wow. Brenda Paradise, what do you understand about?
Okay, people keep talking about the bars on the windows. You saw the bars on the windows, right? So, I mean, especially in a big city like Houston and like here, again. However, do you think that they're there so Rudy couldn't climb out the window to leave? I mean, both make sense.
You
I mean,
know, girl, you know we got bars on our house to keep them outside. You know.
I know.
We from the hood. Stop tripping. Y'all ain't breaking in our house.
I know, but it still sounds plausible that they're there to keep him in. Okay, I'm going.
About this mother, what do you know about her? This is beyond anything we've seen.
Over 700 cases, and this is definitely the most bizarre. We started seeing red flags when day one, when the mother, when Janie completed the family intake, she put the wrong date of birth. So if you notice there's discrepancies from the very beginning. Was he 17 or was he 18 when he went missing? He was, we learned later through HPD that he was actually 18 years old, not 17. The mother wrote the wrong date of birth on the intake when she submitted it. Not too long after that, we received a suicide letter that was allegedly written by Rudy, but there was always some question as to whether it was Rudy's. Rudy had always written in script the letter, the suicide letter that we found, which would have been after Mom had said that he went missing. But in retrospect, now looking back at it, if what Rudy told Quanell was true, we were given the suicide letter after he returned home, so he wouldn't have even been missing at that point when the suicide letter came into play. But the suicide letter was written in cursive, and we can't find anything that Rudy wrote was cursive. When we did the search,
I didn't know nothing about a suicide note, but it was written after, and then it was written in cursive. They didn't write in cursive.
Why this
Come
chick
on,
ain't
Mom.
in jail? Why this chick ain't in jail? Why this chick ain't in jail? If I would have did half of that, y'all would have locked me up.
Not half, one.
What? What?
All right, here we go.
we found a wallet, an inhaler, and a backpack that Janie claimed that was Rudy's. And we later found out that none of these things were Rudy's. And over the years, in interviewing the family, Rudy's family, and even the friends that we have interviewed, they have claimed that Rudy doesn't have cancer. There was a GoFundMe account set up that we found that we turned into law enforcement in the very beginning, where Janie was collecting money for Rudy, who had cancer. There's never been any proof that Rudy's had cancer. And the friends and family all say that he didn't need an inhaler, he wasn't sick. What originally had, the term that was originally had come up was Munchausen's by proxy, which would explain a lot. Janie does show characteristics of Munchausen's by proxy with all of the things that were claimed over the years, but nothing has come to fruition with Rudy having cancer or Rudy having any of these ailments that Janie has claimed all along. It seems to be a money grab every step of the way. And with what Mr. Cornell X is saying, if that is true, and I don't believe that he would have any reason to make up this crazy of a story, I believe that he has Rudy's best interest at heart. But it appears that Rudy has classic symptoms of Stockholm syndrome. If he's afraid that, after all these years, if he's been held in captivity and he's afraid of his mom getting in trouble, it would explain a lot with this case.
It is really, it's incredibly tragic. It's sad for this young man. Okay, all our guests are staying with us. We're going to talk more because there's a lot more we still have to try to figure out. And there he is. Wow. 8 years. 8 years.
These are the cases. Time frame where he was missing. Investigators followed up on many tips, leads, collected evidence proving that Rudy was not missing during the 8-year period.
Reported missing, but not missing for 8 years. What happened to this young man, Rudy Farias? Apparently never missing, with his mother the whole time. Great panel of guests tonight. Cornell X is with us, human rights activist, civil rights activist from Houston, knows a lot about this case, was with Rudy. Keisha Ross, neighbor. Brenda Paradise, private investigator, worked this. And Caitlin Becker from dailymail.com has been covering all this. Caitlin, I want to start with you. Do we know where everyone is tonight, the status of the investigation, and what's happening there? Is there any movement on this since the initial press conference?
The status of the investigation is a question mark, but we do know that an investigation is underway, not only into the fake disappearance, what has gone on with Rudy in those 8 years, in addition to those, I would say, potential fraud instances with these GoFundMes and fundraisers. Those are all sort of wrapped up in the same overarching investigation. The last we've reported on, Rudy was with a relative, a family, some sort of relative or family friend, but maybe, Cornell could jump in with that, with where he is on that, because the story continuously changes. I mean, the police said that Rudy was with his mother by his own choice, and then within a day, we find out that Rudy's not with his mother, he's with someone else and kind of trying to lay low. So you almost don't know what to believe, even with our own reporting, because it seems like the right hand does not know what the left hand is doing.
Cornell, how about that? How is Rudy doing? Is he in a safe place?
Rudy is doing okay. He is with a personal family friend. That family friend has given access to Rudy's extended family, his uncles, his aunts, his cousins, but at this time it's really only one uncle and 2 aunts who have visited with Rudy because he's in such a fragile state. Rudy needs to be in a hospital. He needs to be seeing a psychiatrist, a psychotherapist, and he needs help for drug addiction. I believe he's a drug addict, not by his own choice. I believe his mother did this to him to keep the shenanigan and the charade going and to keep him in a state of mind to where he was not able to do anything outside of her control. This young man needs a hospital. He needs a clinic. He needs therapists. He needs clinicians. The family loves him, but he needs to be in somewhere we can get some professional help.
Absolutely. Hey, Cornell, one follow-up on Mom, something Caitlin said. Was she taking advantage of the fact that he was missing? Was she going on paid-for trips?
So we learned by speaking with two of the employees that.
Okay, so in my opinion, this woman did get the life insurance money because number one, how can she afford a BMW? Please tell me now how she can afford a BMW and go on trips and vacations. Get the F out of here now.
Yeah, I got a feeling the cops knew she was like grifting for money. Yep, I think they knew. I think they
Well,
knew.
you know, Rudy's dad was a Houston deputy, but he got into some trouble writing 2 tickets at the same time in 2 different places. So he was under investigation for that. So when he was in the police station garage in his unit, he unalived himself.
Follow the money.
So some people are saying that maybe they're embarrassed because they failed a fallen deputy's widow, they said, but they weren't legally married. So, but you can consider, I guess, since they are together. Yes, and being the beneficiary of his brother's will. I think that she did cash it in. And then you hear him, he's like, if she got money, where's the money? Like, he had, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't given anything. He wasn't, you know, like, he didn't know, if anything, he didn't know. But do you think she could afford a BMW?
If Houston is like anywhere else, if she say she has a missing child, imagine the donations that came in and she just kept going. Because the thing that I just realized, it wasn't a mental evaluation on that child, and she didn't have a mental evaluation. So that just tells me they knew they were scammers and they knew who they were in the community. They knew who they were. They just didn't pay attention to them.
Right. I think so. I don't know. This is weird, but
But if it's sexual and they didn't do anything, now all them cops on the hook for that.
I don't know. She spent it all on herself. Yeah. So what? So, okay, she went on these trips and stuff. So she left Rudy there to take care of grandma? Because
Said he
grandma
had a
lived
job.
there.
Remember they said that he was outside. He was able to take care of stuff.
Right. Right. I understand that. But what I'm saying is the grandma is placed in that house to be taken care of by home health. So if the mama leaves and no other family member can come into the house without, you know, with Rudy being there, Rudy would have had to be the only one that was there to care for the grandma, right?
Yeah, but also remember he probably had to be the one getting her food, making her food if he's home health. Somebody had to feed her.
But he just said that he doesn't know how to do anything because she did everything for him.
See what I mean? Why this story don't make sense? Gay, you got me into this. What's going on?
Let's go. I want part 3 so bad to hear, because when they ended part 2, he was asking him a question about the stuff that Mr. X was talking about.
That she would fly out of Houston going to visit other parents of other missing children, and that she was getting them to pay her plane fare and a hotel stay in order for her to travel to those cities and meet with those other, the guise of them networking together to try to find missing children. Also, we learned that some of them at the company where she worked would put together a little money for her as a travel expense because she always said she had no money. This lady has played an entire charade, an absolute sham on all of those who know her and believe that Rudy was missing. Even the private investigator can speak to something more depth than what I can about a fundraiser that she was a part of and Rudy's mom's actions at that fundraiser.
Brenda, how about that?
There have been several fundraisers. Initially, we did a fundraiser at a little bar just to get the word out that Rudy was missing. I thought it was very strange. It was within just a couple of weeks after Rudy went missing, and it was at a little place in Houston. And Mom made T-shirts, and we thought it was weird that she had wings on Rudy as if he wasn't alive anymore. And she was selling these T-shirts, and she made a couple $1,000s at that fundraiser. We thought it was very odd that she showed up to that fundraiser late. She was over 2 hours late. She stayed less than 20 minutes, long enough to end the fundraiser, grab the money and run. And she did not thank any of the people that were there donating or any of the people that donated their time. There've been a couple other fundraisers along the way. There was a time where she alleged that Rudy was in the hospital in California, and that she needed money for her and her sister to fly in California to identify this boy who appeared to look like Rudy and see if it was actually Rudy or not. If law enforcement looks into Janie's Facebook page or seen any of the screenshots, this has been a money grab.
I want to know what sister went with her to California. And if it's that sister that's all up, got her mouth open and everything, I'm really going to punch in the throat. No. No, ma'am. It better not be that sister. Bruh. I'm getting mad.
Grab the entire way. Anytime Janie needs money, she reaches out to the public to get money. And, it's likely she's been getting it because she's played a lot of people over the years.
Absolutely. People have big hearts. There's a missing child. They want to do anything and everything they can. Keisha, anything happening?
At one point,
I just want to ask Keisha one question. Keisha, is there anything happening at the house tonight? Is there any activity there tonight, yesterday? People floating around there?
When I woke up this morning, she was there. She was there for a long time. She was in the home, in the kid that they had been looking for. She's basically been coming over here. She would come over here in the nighttime, but then she got bold and started coming in the daytime. And I've been letting people know that she's been in the neighborhood, but I was informed by HPD that she could go into her home and we can record what we want, but we couldn't call them.
Wow. Brenda, we have about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
at one point, Janie was doing a fundraiser on Facebook to hire a private investigator because she had claimed that somebody called her from Tijuana, and they claimed that they had Rudy in a sex ring in Tijuana. So she was trying to gain money for private investigators. I've never been paid for any of the work that I've done for private investigations, so I thought it was very strange she was asking for money for private investigators. But it's been a money grab the entire way.
Yeah. Kaylin Becker, I'll give you the final word here. We have about 20 seconds. You know, you and I have covered a lot of stories. Have you ever seen or heard anything quite like this?
I really haven't. You don't know up from down with this type of story. You don't know who to trust. And then the main player is Janie, and she is making the strangest moves every step of the way, beginning with just last week, even involving Quinnell at all when she knew this child was never missing.
Yeah, and Quinnell has a knack for getting to the truth. Big thank you, Quinnell X. Thank you, Keisha. Appreciate your time tonight. Brenda Paradise joining us.
My friend dropped down. Y'all, so what is her house? And she had, I know, right, Tony? This is crazy. I don't know what's going on. You guys, part 3 is still not out. She just has part 1 and part 2. I'm hoping part 3 might be longer than 10 minutes like these were. And I definitely am impatient to know what he says about Mr. X. Did y'all catch that? That was the question he asked, and then it cut off. The mother saying Rudy was nonverbal, missing boy would have tugged at everyone's heart. Right, and they wanted $10,000 for the GoFundMe, and they only got 2,000. And then she said someone that she trusted stole the money, so she didn't get any money. She is such a liar. Jeez Louise, lady. I don't know, you guys. I think HPD. Do you think HPD is gonna really investigate this in depth, or they're just gonna throw it away and not worry about it and just do like the minimum of what needs to be done because he was found? I think she says he's nonverbal because if he spoke, she was afraid that he might say something to incriminate both of them, you know? But obviously we know now that he's not nonverbal, and he seems to be very intelligent, and like, I don't know, that what the Rudy we saw on this interview is a totally different Rudy than we saw hiding under the blanket at the hotel. Remember that? It is so good to see him with this glow and starting to be happy with himself and his life. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Mama Shellbell. They said APS is involved. It was in one article or it was said in a video, I'm not sure, but they did say APS did get involved. And I believe Mama Shellbell. I really do. I think it's just going to be like after maybe a week or so, it'll be forgotten. I wonder if they'll have their body cams and dash cams by then. As soon as they get their dash cams and body cams, y'all, that case is a wrap. I don't think they will, Cass. I don't think they care, because if they cared, they would have already known that he was there, in my opinion. Yeah, if she 100% collected it, I mean, we don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying, how do you afford, you begging for money? Evidently you don't have money, so how can you afford all these trips and a BMW if you have no money and you have to beg for money? So I'm thinking that she must have gotten the insurance money, right, to afford all this. And then she's still begging for money. If she got the insurance money, she's still begging for money online. Like, this woman, everybody knows that money is the root of all evil, but this woman is really sick, y'all. She seriously needs help. What the hell? She's addicted to money or something. Grizzy, where's part 3? Please, thank you. I don't know. I don't think she's going to get charged with anything, but isn't insurance fraud federal? Or is it state? I don't know. He definitely wasn't nonverbal. He sure did speak a lot. I mean, I think they should investigate, but in reality, they have so many cases, they aren't going to worry so much. Right, like they have people getting shot, stabbed, ran over, like all that every day. I know it happens here every day, so it's got to happen there every day. They have, and that's why I get upset whenever people call for petty ass shit. When they call 911 or the police for petty ass shit and they got to go over there, they could be helping someone that may really need the police. And that upsets me. It makes me upset. Oh my God, she just deleted part 2 off of her Facebook, you guys. She only has part 1 on there now. I wonder what she's going to do with it. I don't know. Now part 2 is not on her Facebook. He definitely, yeah. That's how I was saying, Mama Shellbell. I think she was saying that he was nonverbal and she was telling him not to speak so that it wouldn't accidentally come out and, he wouldn't accidentally incriminate them. She should be charged. Rudy is the one. Yes, and I hear that they are thinking about charging him for falsifying his identity. If they charge him and not the mom, something is seriously wrong with this situation already. But we gonna all know in a minute. How long do you think it's gonna take them to investigate? Maybe they'll take forever to investigate and the case will never close, and then they'll just be like, oh, we're still investigating it. Yeah, what if they just continue to investigate it for the rest of whatever? Can that happen? Okay, she put part 2 back up. Hopefully part 3 might come back up then. Might come up. Let's wait a little while. I don't know where Army Vet left. He sure did leave pretty fast and didn't say bye. So if you're hearing this, that was very rude, Army Vet. I keep refreshing her Facebook on my phone. On my phone for part 3, but I think I might have to play it. That microphone that they put in his face looks so cool. It didn't look like a microphone. Let's see. I'm still trying to see, guys. I bet she makes... Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you? The neighbor lady, the one that reported him found or whatever. Do y'all think she's going to be on social media with a lot of followers now that she's on TV all the time? Because usually people like that, people on TV like that with cases. Oh, right. What you eating, Bonnie? What you fixing? Grizzy. Where's part 3, baby? Alright, I don't know. I want to know what Bonnie's fixing. It's 2:51 here, so definitely. I only eat once. I don't even think about eating. I can go all day and not eat nothing. And not even be hungry ever and not think about not eating. Not think about eating. It's crazy. The other day, I slept through dinner and didn't eat at all. But I would like for y'all to know that I did my A1C for, I've been on the new medicine with the shot for 3 months, almost 4 months, I think. And so I did my A1C to see the level since I started taking this new medicine. So my level before the shot on the metformin, my A1C was 6.1. When I did my A1C the other day, after taking this medicine for 3 months, my A1C was my A1C was 5.1. Whoop whoop. My sugar's going down and my weight's going down. It's crazy. I'll sit outside or sit anywhere, and then I'm able to really cross my legs, you know what I mean? And I look at my legs and myself and I see that I'm smaller, but I don't ever remember being the weight that I am. And I'm not small at all. I'm not small. But I came a long way, and I'm a lot smaller than I've never been this weight in my whole adult life. The last time I weighed this, I was probably in high school. But it's the fact of where I was and where I'm at now that, I don't know. When I started this medicine, I was 201, and now I'm 165. So there's that. My doctor put me on a medication for weight loss and lost 75. Wow. Let me ask you a question. Do you have, and if you don't want to answer this, that's fine because I know it's embarrassing. Do you have loose skin from losing 75 pounds? That's a lot of weight. And I know I do from just the 36 pounds I lost. And y'all, it took weight from everywhere but it took weight from my stomach, but it needs to, and he might do sit-ups or something. But I want to know if I can get rid of this loose skin, like on my thighs and stuff, what can I do? It's gross. Like, I'd rather be fat and have fat fill in this skin than just have it there. You know what I mean? Oh my God, you people talk to me. Don't make me talk to myself. I'm not like Dolly Vision. I can't sit up here and talk and talk for a long time. Yes, I was on metformin for, gosh, almost 20 years. And now I'm on a once a week shot, but it's not like an insulin shot. It's a little thing. It's like a EpiPen thing. You just put it to your skin, press the button, and it puts the medicine in for you. It's once a week. It's called Mounjaro. Let me spell it for you. Mounjaro. Let me make sure I'm spelling this right. Hold on. The thing, they have a little refrigerator in here. So I have medicine right here. It has to stay cold. Mounjaro. I wanted to make sure the spelling. Mounjaro. There you go. There's a reason. Hold on, Tony. Let me get my ink pen. I have a notepad right here. Dr. Barry on YouTube, I'm assuming. Oh my God, is it bad? Why did you say ASAP? Every time I refresh her Facebook page and I don't see part 3, like, I'm like, oh, like my shoulders sink, not shrink. My shoulders sink. Because I want to know so bad what his answer is to that damn question. Then we'll know for a fact if he's lying, if Mr. X is lying or not. Because, I mean, Rudy would not say, if he didn't say something to him, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to tell the truth. You're welcome, Bonnie. You lose weight fast. Like, at the beginning, I lost weight fast. Like, everybody was like, how are you losing weight? And then I'm like, a shot? And I don't know. I just know that a lot of insurance companies won't pay for it. Oh my God. I'm gonna freaking. So, hi, Grammy Rita. Dang nabbit. Hold on. Let me go back to her Facebook. Dang, so she posted something else that happened around Houston a minute ago. Part 2 was an hour ago. So I hope part 3. I'm going to go with this. Now you got me scared. What the hell is ketosis? Don't that have something to do with your sugar and your urine or something? Sherry, I was wondering where you were. I thought you got bored and left. I know you didn't get bored and leave, though. I thought you was in the bushes. Also, look up carnivore diet. Oh, my gosh. What is this? What is happening? Pay attention, Bonnie. You might need this if you get on that shot. You might need this if you get on that shot. Like, I don't even want to wear shorts. Like, not short shorts, but not knee-length shorts either. You know, just like shorts. I don't even want to wear those because my thighs, like, my thighs are smaller, but the inside of my thighs has that loose skin. I don't want to wear clothes that shows my body because it's gross. I'd rather show more body with a fat body. I'm just going to bitch about it. Bitch and complain, bitch and complain. What's your screenshotting? You looking up this stuff? My son is a carnivore diet. He only eats meat. Like, I don't like too much meat. I can't have that. I can't eat only meat. I eat barely meat. Yeah, I don't like a lot of meat. I'm very picky about what kind of meat I eat. So I cannot be a carnivore. Sorry. Look up. Well, Ozempic is amazing if that's what you're speaking of. No, Grammy Rita, Ozempic. Okay, my aunt got on Ozempic after I started losing weight with the Mounjaro. And she's not losing weight barely, like 8 weeks. She lost 5 pounds, I think she said. So we were looking it up and she Googled. And because we were thinking, well, maybe if you're diabetic, you lose weight faster because that's what the medication is for. But if you're not diabetic, you might lose weight slower. So she Googled it, and there was an actual article that said Mounjaro you will lose about 10 to 15 pounds more than Ozempic. It was October 50. Well, then those insurance companies are going to have to start paying those shots. What else are they going to do? Sherry, that's crazy because my aunt and my best friend are both on Ozempic for weight loss. They're both not diabetic. And they're losing weight very slowly, though. Oh, Tony, I don't think I can do that. That takes a strong-minded person, I tell you that. To go from not liking meat to eating only meat. Hey, nah. Man, I'm coming live again in 2 hours with just stuff going on around the world. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here now, and I'll be back in 2 hours. It's 5 my time. And if it's posted by then, I'll go ahead and play it then. If you're impatient, I'm sorry. I'm impatient myself. I can't wait till it comes out. I will be refreshing her page constantly. I need to know. Now. It doesn't. I'm 100% Italian. Never did I believe I detest carbs. Oh, yeah. Pasta. Definitely. I wrote it down. Tony. Thank you. When you hear they're going to start requiring people to be tested for... Oh, really? That's good because maybe the insurance doesn't want to cover it too much because everybody wants to get on it because everybody wants to lose weight. And I can't lie, that's why I got on this medication. Because I know somebody, and every time he went live, he got skinnier and skinnier. And I'm like, yo, October 50 is Jimbo. I was like, yo, is Jimbo sick? But I said it to myself, right? And then one day, I got the nerve up to ask him in Messenger. Okay, Mama Shell Bell, see you in a couple of hours. Anyway, I finally got the nerve to ask him. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you losing weight? And he said because of the medicine, and he explained it to me and everything. And I was like, well, damn, let me see. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 200 pounds. I need to lose weight. I don't know what it's like to be smaller. You know what I mean? So I asked my doctor about it, and she put it in. Like, I never even went to see her. It was all on my chart messages. And she called it in, and a month later I went in to see her just for her to check up, and everything was good. And now 3 months later, after I started, my A1C went from 6.0 to 5.1, which is excellent. So her notes were just to continue the regimen. He looks very thin now, can't eat, but small amounts, loose skin. Check his shorts from yesterday. I'm not going to look at his loose skin, but yeah, that is right. We can only eat a little. Like I told you, I don't ever think about eating. Like, when I go to Walmart, the grocery section does not bother me at all. Yes, it was, but 5.1 is a little better. Like 6.0 is kind of at the end of good, and 5.1 is in the middle of good. Oh, Laura went live? Oh, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and end this so that we can all go in Laura's live. I didn't realize she was live. So I'll see you guys over there. Okay? Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll have part 3 in a couple of hours.